as the case may be. And some of us may be students. Some of us could be going through some trainings, or you don't even have a particular source of income now. So we'll be having different categories of people. So our discussion is going to be very balanced so that we can have every opinion and at the same time ensure that we achieve what exactly we want to achieve today. So it's a session for us to learn to earn, like I said. So today, at the end of today, we want to ensure that you are being empowered, you would also be engaged, and you will also be exposed to how to earn. So, and our major concern, our major objective is to achieve financial prosperity for us all. So what actually informed this session was the fact that Nigerian economy generally is really worrisome, especially looking at the economic downturn. And at the same time, looking at the earning power of people in Nigeria, it's actually very disturbing. I was in Nigeria in December. I came for an event, and for some of us just joining the session, actually speaking with us presently from the United Kingdom. So I am an entrepreneur in the UK. So I will be discussing with you from my experience as an entrepreneur in the UK. And also for some of you that knows me well in this call, I'm also an entrepreneur in Nigeria. So we have a shea butter processing company and a food factory in Nigeria. We process pepper. And we also have Chimpori as our cosmetics line for just a basis of introduction. So for you to understand that the person speaking with you today is more like an entrepreneur. And yes, anything we're talking about entrepreneurship, though today is not about entrepreneurship, it's about tech. So I'm an entrepreneur in Nigeria in manufacturing, and in the UK, I'm a techpreneur. My business is a fintech in the UK, and it's called FinREMIT. So FinREMIT is a one-stop financial hub, providing financial educations and the likes for people. And we also provide savings for people after we have teach you how to learn to earn. Then we also teach you how to be financially prudent, and we also show you how to invest your money because you're going to earn more income than you have always been earning before. And we also show you investment opportunities within and outside Nigeria. So like I was saying earlier, when I came to Nigeria, I was a bit worried looking at the cost of living and the cost of item in the market. And I also look at the earning powers of people. It's somehow worrisome because it's something that is not sustainable. We know our government are trying their best, so we're not going to be partisan in our discussion this evening. We're going to be practical, rather. So I felt there are a lot of skills that we can learn, whether you are in Nigeria or you are in the UK. We all need to enhance our learning. So that is one of the things that inform this technopreneur session. Secondly, for some of us in this call that are presently in the UK, it's also not as easy as it used to be. Earning the pounds to pay rent, we know how difficult it is. So it's even more balanced when you are not in Nigeria and you are earning in pounds or in dollar. When you do the exchange, you know how much it is. We're going to expose all of that into in the course of this training. So just don't worry. You will see a lot of insight into what I'm trying to say. So basically, the reason why this session is coming up now is to enhance the earning potentials of Nigerians in both in diaspora and at home. So if you are in the UK and you are earning £1,000, we know what it means. You are paying rent of maybe 900 or thereabout. So at the end of a month, all your money is already gone through bills. And at the same time in Nigeria, if you are earning just 100,000 per month, when you go to the market, you know what it means. So it's important for you to look out for how to increase or enhance your earning potentials. And the tech industry is one of the areas that we can explore. I am a living testimony of this, and I will be sharing some of my examples in the last 1 or 2 years of my tech experience in the UK. So while I'm a tech entrepreneur in the UK, I was able to also pick up some tech jobs with organization. So on this note, please, I will be wearing several caps as both an entrepreneur, a techpreneur, and at the same time the anchor for this session. We may be having some of people in this call that also have similar experience. So at the point, we will be opening the floor for people to share their experience as well. But this is just a quick overview. So at this point, let's start with an icebreaker. Yes, let's start with an icebreaker. So on this screen here, which of these can you or your business do without? So what you'll be doing for me is this. You will in the chat session. So I want this class to be very interactive. So this is the reason why I'm starting with this. And the reason why we're doing this is I want to see how people are tech driven in this class. So this is how you're going to do it. On the screen, there is telephone, a mobile or desktop. So don't mind the type of phone I use there. I put a Nokia, you know, the Nokia, and I also put the iPhone, the latest iPhone as well. So what it means is telephone, whether it is mobile or desktop or smartphone, as long as it can call and the likes. But you know the features varies anyway. So if you can do, which of these can you or your business do without? So if you can do without phone, you type A. If you can do without a computer, you type B. So that means if you type B, that means you can only do without computer, but you need a phone and an internet. Then if you type A, B, C, that means you don't need the three on the screen. But if you know you can't do without these three things, you type none. That is, you cannot do without, you need all of these things to survive. So we will start now. Oh, people have already started typing already. Good. So we have none, none, none. So who is going to take the survey? I want to know how many people have something on the screen that they can do without. So if there is anything you can do without on this screen, then that would give us a guide as to what you will be needing. So it's a kind of a profiling of our participants this afternoon, and at the same time, a way to know what people want and how we can actually channel people's need. So yes, we've been putting it. I think I will need to do it like a poll if I have any other question next. Okay, but from what we have here, yeah, please, I would like if almost everyone can respond. That would really make it interactive, and at the same time, it will make us know that yes, we are all together. We are all together. Yes, if you can do without any of these, either you or your business can do without any of these on the screen, please type it on the screen. So we have B. So what it implies is that almost all of us in this call can not do without a phone, and we cannot do without an internet. But some of us can actually do without a computer. That's a very good insight. Okay, good one. Now let me go to the next on my screen. This image on the screen that we're seeing here, what can we say about it? Let me see how tech-driven we are in this call. What can we say about this image? Who knows what is on this image? Who knows what is happening here? Can just type it, just in one word, what you can see or what you feel this person is doing. Wearing an eyeglass, if I may say. Or what is it exactly that you think he's doing? So this is a part of the icebreaker anyway. The future is about tech, okay? So virtual reality, thank you, Mr. Shiru. Okay, yeah, that's good. Yeah, these are part of the things that is taking over now very soon. We all know what happened post-COVID or during COVID when we can no longer have a physical one-to-one meeting. We can no longer see each other. We have to maintain social distance. And that is where we begin to see the relevance of technology. And that is why the transformation, general transformation, comes in as regards technology. So the first thing that I have here is that technopreneurship is a blend of technology innovation with entrepreneurship. And what am I trying to say this evening is that a lot of organizations, a lot of individuals cannot survive without technology. Going back to our survey, we have a telephone, we have an internet. Yes, even if some of us can do without computer, because perhaps the phone is now, when you have a smartphone now, is as good as having a computer. And they've even enhanced some of these smartphones to the level that the features can actually just serve like a computer, especially for some of us using fold or using a mini tablet and the like. So it's very adaptive, that websites are now very adaptive, that you may likely not need a computer to visit them as much as you have a Chrome or a mobile browser. So what it implies is technology and entrepreneurship is now being integrated into each other. So we as individuals, we can't do without tech, and also companies can't do without tech. So imagine if almost 50 to 60% of us in this call today could not do without a phone and an internet. So imagine how will an organization survive without internet or technology, including computer. So what it implies now is there is nothing you can do on your own now without technology in this recent world. The screen you are seeing here, the picture you are seeing on the screen here is a virtual reality, is a VR, and this is the future of work, and this is what is going to take over. But if you are not smart enough, so that is why I said this session is not just for entrepreneurs, it's not for individuals, it's not for people that are unemployed or underemployed, and it's also not for people only in Nigeria or only in the UK. It is for everybody. If you are not smart enough as a business person, for example, you may be outsmart with technology. Likewise, as an individual, if you don't acquire new tech skills, you may also be outsmart, and then you would become an alternative. So we all need to now adopt technology so that we can maintain our relevance. And I say here that we all remember the era of .com. Before now, back then in 20, 30, 40 years, we know technology is not taking the trend it is today. So we remember when .com begins, www.sososo.com. That was the period that telecom began to boom. Telecom began to boom as regards of the .com. And today, we have gone beyond .com. Yes, we are using the .com platforms to access all of these solutions, but it has gone beyond .com. Now we're talking about artificial intelligence. Who knows much about artificial intelligence 10 years, 20 years ago? So artificial intelligence is now driving individual life, driving entrepreneurs, driving businesses, and a lot of organizations are now adopting it to transform their industries. For some of us in this call, let me quickly make it another interactive class session again. If you have heard about artificial intelligence, type 1. If you have not, type 2. Let's see if we see together. Audio is disabled for now, but at least we want to interact with our audience. Good. Mr. Fatai is aware about AI. Brilliant. So that's it. That's the first poll. Yeah. So 2. I can see 2. Yeah. So if I can see 2 on this screen, then I'm concerned. So we'll talk about it. So if I can see 1, 2 now, and another, do we have another 2? Is there anyone that has never heard about artificial intelligence? Okay, so of the response, we have 2 people and 1 person. Okay, of those that has responded that they have heard about artificial intelligence, oh, we have 2 people now that doesn't hear, that has not heard about artificial intelligence. That's good. So of those that have heard about artificial intelligence, another 2. This is interesting. So yeah, for those that have heard about artificial intelligence, if you have used artificial intelligence in one way or the other to improve your workflow or work process, can you type one? If you have not, type two. So I will add the second two here with the first two, which shows that is as good as not knowing it if you have not used it. Okay. A good number of people are already using AI. Okay, two. So two. Good, good. Okay, good. Brilliant. So what this implies is that we are not out of point having this session today because a lot of insight is going to be exposed to us. Artificial intelligence is just a new technology that is working with machine learning and Internet of Things to respond to people's need real time and also assist people by is a kind of a robotic chat box that you send a message to and ask question to him and say, draft a letter for me about XYZ, and it drafts the letter, gives you a subject. All you need to do is just to modify the letter if you need. You can also use matching artificial intelligence to um, to correct what you have typed. Maybe you are typing a letter and you put it into AI. So you can tell AI to redraft the letter for you, correct the letter, reduce it to certain percentage and the likes. So for those that have not heard about AI, I would like my technical team to please drop a link to ChatGPT. So drop a link to ChatGPT, and we see that as the first exposure or high hope now that we have done in this session today, so that those that have not heard about it can start interacting with it. It's a free web solution, and it also has a mobile version that you can download. So this is what is taking place now. So now AI is not just about ChatGPT. AI has now been integrated to graphics. AI has now been integrated to ways of living. AI has now been integrated to agriculture. I am aware now that there is a farm in Nigeria and even in developed country where we are here that they don't operate the human interface. The owner of the farms don't go to farm. So the farm, they've installed artificial intelligence into their farm such that when the moisture content of the farmland is tried to a level, the irrigation system automatically triggers and it starts wetting the farm. As soon as the moisture content gets to a certain level, the irrigation stops and the farm continue to have all year round moisture. These are artificial intelligence for us. So we have it on the chat session here. That is the most common one. That's the text interactive artificial intelligence. We also have the graphics. So it has now been integrated into graphics, and it has even been integrated into solution like Zoom that we have now, that we can use it to manage meetings, capture minutes of meetings, and then it will present everything and so on and so forth. That's not where we are going today, but it's just part of what we need to do. Now, global impact. We are all aware that technology has made the world a global village. I'm here now in the UK and we are talking one-to-one as if we are together. So technology has really bridged the gap that a lot of people sees as a challenge. And also, technology has risen to the level that with 5G now, initially before we may not enjoy this call because people would be having a lot of a lag in their speed of internet and the likes. But today it's another story. Yes, it was a lot of arguments. 5G is good, 5G is bad, but we like it or not, we're adopting it. And that is the next future. Last on the screen here is the future forecast. So I'm going to open our eyes to these three things. If you are not very careful and you are not tech driven, because a lot of us begin to say like, tech is for those that are IT career. It is not. The moment you start leaving the tech for the IT expert, you will leave, tech will replace you in the coming years ahead. In my factory, we implemented an automation process. And before then, we use his hand to label our product. It's hard for us maybe to get 1,000 label done in maybe 1 hour. But we introduced an automated labeling machine, which is still not a full automation. That was like 2 years ago. And we discovered that the speed at which the labeling was really amazing. So now we just installed another machine that is going to automate almost all the processes. And my team are already looking forward to the yield that would happen. What it implies is that people will be replaced by robots, by artificial intelligence, by Internet of Things. That is the future forecast. Places will become virtual. That is what you can see here. Then paper will become cloud, and it's already happening. We all know that today you hardly go around with files. People don't even, when you go to an event and they take your picture, they want to give you the hard copy, you will say, do you have the soft copy? Because people prefer to put their files, their pictures in their Google Drive, and that is on. So what it implies is that technology is replacing everything and most of the things. So if you are not growing along with the trend, you would be part of those that would face the downturn of technology increase. So as technologies is now being adopted in systems, in companies, then some people will have to leave. But when you grow along with technology, your relevance will continue. And that is why this training is very important. So don't say, me, I'm not an IT person. So all what this man is saying is not, I thought it's something that will just tell me how to make money now. No. You need to start picking a tech skill now, because what people need now, what company will be needing now are skills that would support these tech futures, not people. So they only need your skills. And that's why remote job is increasing day by day. And that is what I will be exposing to you in this session. If we couldn't finish this session today, I'm fine with it. We can have another one by next Saturday. So it's going to be a continuous thing. And from there, we begin to separate the house, people that will go for this kind of training, because I'll be telling you some of those classes anytime soon, and people that will be going for the other kind of trainings. But the first thing that we're doing today is to open your eyes to adopting tech as part of your way of living. So I have a question down here. I said, how will you be relevant in all of this? The only way you can be relevant is to adopt technology as part of your ways of life this 2024. So at the end of today's class, you must be ready to take up a tech skill. It is important you take up a tech skill that is relevant to your areas of life. And one good thing is any skills you take up now is either, if you are a businessman, it's either it improves your business, or be careful when you are moving around the screen so that you don't write too much on it. So you don't need to move around the screen. You can see Dr. Martins, so you can just reduce the numbers of your movement. Otherwise, the screen will be okay. I may need to close my slide and start again. So please, let's avoid writing on the screen so that we'll not get distracted with the training. Dr. Martins, please take note. Okay, so we need to be willing and ready to take up a tech skill as soon as possible. So now this next thing that I have here is important of tech. We need to stop sharing my screen and share again so that the write-up of Dr. Martins will not obstruct us. Sorry about that, please. Okay. Okay. I hope you are still seeing my screen. So please, let's avoid moving the mouse as much as you can so you don't disrupt the training or the session rather. So what are the importance of text? I've discussed that extensively, so I won't waste time much on this. So these are all I've explained earlier. Technology brings out innovation. It enhances operational efficiencies of company. It gives global reach and is an adaptive process which makes companies to be relevant. So what it implies now is that banks, manufacturing companies, government, because the project I did in the UK that I told you about is a user research role, and it never affects me as an entrepreneur. And I work almost from home, only 2 days in office, and I don't even go to office to sit down and be working. I only go to meet the people that I'm conducting the research with. I will tell you what user research means because that is my area of specialization. That is my area of competence. And some of you tomorrow could take up this role as a user researcher. And it doesn't affect me doing my fintech as a fintech entrepreneur here. And it doesn't also still affect me doing my business in Nigeria because yes, I can monitor the business remotely and I have people that are also in charge. So what does this mean? You can make money from tech even when you have your own business, because I don't think money is always enough, because the truth is expenses keeps coming. The more money you make, the more expenses that will come in. So I don't think there's anyone in this call that will say, let me leave this call. This is not for me. I don't need more money. So if you don't need more money, please, you can just excuse us. But I know even Dangote still needs more. So now, looking at all of this importance of tech, then it means that business needs tech, businesses needs you. And the problem is, some of you may be wondering, why am I now coming to say this, or why am I exposing these opportunities? The gap are very wide to be filled. So if you don't have the tech skill as an entrepreneur, you are losing, like I said. And at the same time, if you are not an entrepreneur and you have a tech skill, then you are a resources that organization wants. Banks, manufacturing company, like I said, government, a lot of organizations, both in the Western world, in the global South, and even the global West and the global North, they all need um, tech to strive. So you are not in the wrong place today. So like I said, every company needs tech. So I will be exposing to us what do they need these techs for and what are the skills that you may be needing. So talking about product development, companies need techs for product development. And one of the tech skills that they will be needing in this area is user researchers. User researchers, some call it market researchers, if it is commercial. If it is a product related business like physical product, they call it market or product researchers. If it is web or software companies, they call it user research. I am a user researcher, and I will be giving you insight into why you need to consider taking skills like that. You see, every companies want to develop new products so that they can be competitive in the market. Most especially banks, government, and even SMEs, commercial organizations, manufacturers. They will want to develop a new product, but they need research to know what exactly their customer needs. So, as a user researcher, you will be relevant to work with the customers directly to know their needs before you now go to the people that will develop that solution to develop the solution. So what it implies is that a user researcher interface between the customer that the company wants to develop that product for and the people that will design or develop that product. This is always very relevant in digital products like websites, software, and the likes. Like for example, I worked with the one of the agency of the government here, which is called Department for Environment, Food and Rural Agency, that is DEFRA. And what I do mostly is the government in the UK government wants to transform the agricultural sector, and they needed to come up with a digital transformation that would be used to collect samples of animals across England, Wales, and bring that sample to a place called Weybridge in London. So what they wanted to do is, how do we ensure that these samples are collected, get to the labs, and get the result gets back to the different laboratories where the samples originate for, and all these things are real time, including the samples of dogs, sheep, and other animals that they wanted to export or import into the United Kingdom. So imagine sample coming from all part of the world to Weybridge in London. So what my role was then was that I would need to go to all of these vets and the labs in the regions across UK and identify how they do it presently. Then what is the challenges with how they are doing it now? And what are the things they would like if the government wants to make it digital? The same thing applies to a normal business. Maybe we want to develop a new product in my company now, a new share butter product, and I decide to say that, oh, we need a user researcher or product researcher or market researcher that will first go to all our distributors, go to all our end users and interact with them. And all of these go to these people we are saying, it doesn't require physical visit. Everything can be done digitally. Yes, all of these roles may not be very known or common in Nigeria. That is why some of us are not taking advantage of it. But you will be surprised that there are some of these roles that you can do or get or take up, and you will be in Nigeria and be working for companies outside Nigeria. So how will you do this is part of what we'll be engaging us or talking more on in subsequent trainings. The next one that I have here is UI UX. UI UX, let me see if we are still together in this class. So you can use the chat area if you know the full meaning of UI UX. So you use the chat area to type the full meaning of UI UX for me to know if I have some tech enthusiasts in our midst. And if you don't know the meaning of UI UX, just type 2. So let's see what happened in the chat area. Okay, 2. If you know it, put 1, then put the full meaning. That is what will make us know that you really know it. 2, 2, 2. Okay, 2. That means a lot of us here doesn't know the full meaning of UI UX. 1. If you know the full meaning, please put it. 2. Okay, so we don't waste time on this. So that implies that the tech, this session is not out of point. UI UX is user interface or user experience. Is a skill that is also very relevant during product development. So UI UX, user interface, when you have a software that you are using, maybe the Facebook. So what you are seeing on the Facebook screen, that you click on this place to share, click on this place to upload picture, click on this, click on that. There are people that does the design. So they call designers. So they call them UI UX designers. So before softwares are developed, it is always good that you go through a UI UX team. Like I told you, I'm a tech entrepreneur. So I also have a software that I'm developing for my business. And for some of us in this call, because after this call, I want you to go back home and tell somebody that, so there's something called UI UX. I even saw an example of it. It's not a word of mouth. I will show you a template of what a UI UX is all about. And it's a skill that is also being demanded seriously in today's tech world. Companies, especially in the global north. When I say global north, I mean the developed countries. When I say global south, I mean the sub-Saharan and the developing countries, basically. So in the developed countries, they don't develop any solution without having a design of how it's going to look like. So a UI UX is like a building plan. I know some of us here can build a mansion on our head without an architect drawing how the building will look. But I also know that some of us will not take that risk as well without having a kind of a structure of how that will look like, so that you will know that, oh, this is what I want to build. So UI UX is like the architectural design of what the software will look like. Then you take it to developers that will start developing those softwares. So the implication is that when you have a UI UX, it makes it easier for your front end and back end developer to understand how to develop that software. So all of these words that I'm saying now, don't let it scare you away, because I know one of you will become a developer or will become a tech expert very soon. So by now, any words that I'm saying that is beginning to sound like a tech jargons, don't be afraid. I was once in your position. I am an accountant, not really an accountant, a finance person by profession. I had my first degree, second degree, third degree in finance. So I have never gone to any class of tech class to start talking about coding or learning codes. So if I can do it and think any one of us can do it, but you can take it from a little place. As low as Excel is a tech skill that somebody in this call today must have. So it is a must have skill that you must all embrace as much as possible. So now let's leave. Now we've talked about product development. The next that we have here is digital marketing. So if you feel like, oh, what Mr. Tokwe is saying, all this user research, because user research, user interface designer is just the beginning. I deliberately take out those that are in charge of the design itself, the tech guys themselves that will do the coding and the likes. Either they are using Python, they are using C Sharp, they are using these. So I don't want to start that because I don't want people to start running away from this session. So I decided to just pick the two that is the simplest. But there are some people in this call here today that would also be happy to want to go the extra mile. Because imagine you having a job that is paying you £300 per day, having a job that is paying you £400 per day. It will now be a plus to you if you are not living in the UK where you also pay big rents and big bills. So I know of tech fellows that works with me that are living in Nigeria and are working for companies outside Nigeria, and they are getting their earnings in pounds or in dollars. So you imagine, do the multiplication, 300, even if it is $300, and it's $300 times 1,000 naira. That's the least that we have now, basically. That means you are earning 300,000 naira per day. This is not a it's not trying. I'm not trying to sugarcoat tech industry for you. Yes, it is of disadvantage, not a big disadvantage anyway, if you are living in the developed part where bills are also very high, because when you compare the £300 and you at the end of the day when they take their tax is not something cheap and they don't take it easily. So before from source tax goes out straight away. So even plus or minus at the end of the month, if you are left with, let's say, 3,000, 4,000 pounds, and you are living in a home of 2,000 pounds, and your bills 500, you still have a very good 1,500 pounds to play with. And that is something, unlike maybe warehouse job or other smaller jobs that pays lesser, maybe 10 or 15 hours. I know of UI UX jobs that pays 50, 30 pounds per hour. So imagine all those jobs, and those jobs are contract. You don't need to be on them for long. When I was working in the DEFRA project, I first got it for 3 weeks, for 3 month contract. They extended it to another 6 months, and then to another 6 months, and that's how they keep renewing that contract. So maybe when we go to the practical classes, I will be happy to share some evidences with you guys for those that are interested in user research, those that are interested in UI UX design. So we'll be handing you over to people that will support you, that will train you. So don't be afraid that I cannot do it. So now talking about the digital marketing, companies need people to also be their digital marketing expert. I know when I was working with DEFRA, there is another team that they were working on. They worked on Reservoir, and they said they needed a content designer. And I was like, what will a content designer do again? What will a content designer do? And they said every content that is going to be on that website, this content designer is the one that will bring it up. And with the era of artificial intelligence, you can interact with the AI to get you content. All you need is just use your own, you humanize whatever AI has given you, Then you deliver to them and you say, this is the content, and they pay you your good money. But if you are not aware of all of these skills, you keep wasting that potential. And some of us here are tech driven that we don't need much training. All we need is just an exposure. I remember when I started the user research job, we got a mentor and he started training us because I like anything related to research and the likes. And I'm not also limiting my skills to user research. So by the time I go to my next slide, there are other new skills that I'm also adding to my portfolio because these skills begin to wipe off over time. So you keep renewing yourself in the industry. So for content designers, companies want people to design content for them. We want to do a website, and the website designer will say, we need content. So instead of you cracking your brain, you just engage a content designer and say, please, can you help me come up with content for this website? And they come up with the content, give it to your developer, they design the website for you, and that is gone. But you will be surprised how much a content designer collects per day. Like I said, I will be sharing some practical evidences with you to see all these things, and I will search it on the internet. I want to use a picture because if I do a picture, it will look like maybe it is photoshopped. So I will type the website and type the job type that I'm talking about and how you can even get some of these jobs, whether remotely from Nigeria or for some of us that are in the UK already, either in the UK, because we have a mixed audience in this call. Some are presently in the UK that needed to also take advantage of tech. So I will be sending all of these websites to us. We've already shared the link for ChatGPT, so some of you should try and do that. You can also follow some of our YouTube pages right now. It's already on the chat session as well. So when you follow all of these, we'll be sharing a lot of these links also in case I couldn't demonstrate everything because it's very, very unlikely that we would finish it today. Very unlikely, but I don't want to rush at it. And at the same time, I I don't want anyone to miss out. So please, if we don't finish everything today, let's try to come up again next class. So now, social media manager is another skill that companies need people for. People that would help them schedule posts, do post calendars and the likes. I remember my wife was talking to someone and the person wanted to sell tax calendar or something for social media calendar to make you know what you should post on Monday, on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday. And when my wife said she has paid and they shared that calendar with her, and I said, that is a source of income. Don't be surprised. That person may be a banker like you. He may be a civil servant like you. He may be an entrepreneur like me, but he has used what he knows in terms of content development to come up with a product. And you know that you can sell your digital product. You can sell it without having a store. You can sell it without even having a store. All you need is to open a store for yourself, upload this product, and when you make money, they deduct your charges. So please don't let this session end without you having a tech or digital service that you can take advantage of to become financially independent or financially free to some extent. The next area that company needs tech is customer relationship management. And this skill here is called KYC. I know all of us or most of us in this call, we know KYC, so I want to use that as a poll. KYC is know your customer. As I'm telling you today, Nigerian banks has this KYC job that they give to agents, that these agents needs to go to people's houses to confirm their address, fill a KYC form, then submit it to the bank. Some of you doesn't know that that job is paying big. The same KYC job is also available as a remote job. It's also available as a remote job. We have a manual here, very big and bulky manual, but we've digitized that manual from so that you can read through those things. But KYC job, banks in the UK like Halifax, Lloyds Bank, Barclays Banks needs KYC agents, people that would help them do customer assessment and also check whether these customers are are worthy to be they are for onboarding. So at the point of onboarding a customer, you need to do KYC, which is very important here in the UK and other developed world. So they need KYC staff, people that has that skill. And this is a very simple thing. All you need to do is read this manual, know what you need to check from these customers. And when the customers is onboarding, it pops up through to your screen as a KYC person. So when it pop up, a supervisor will push it to you. So on your screen. So for some of you, when we started this session that said you have never had, you can do without a laptop. For you to do any of these tech skills, the first thing you would need is to do with a laptop, because you may not be able to do all of these things on the phone. But I know some of us are here that are bankers as well, and they know what I'm saying clearly. So KYC job, if for example, some of us that study banking and finance, accounting, and even if you don't have these accounting background skills or whatever, KYC job is also one of the job that you can take up and is paying good. Like I said, when I will try and note all of those things that I need to show you practically on the screen, so that when I get there, I will not forget. So when I show you how much a KYC person, a KYC agent, a KYC officer is taking in the UK, you would be amazed. And the funniest thing is that you can get some of these jobs remotely and flexibly to work from anywhere in the world. So when you are on your social media and when you are on your computer, on your internet, I'm impressed that almost everybody in this call during our need assessment or during our icebreaker session says that you cannot do without internet. So if you cannot do without internet, what are you doing with the internet? Internet is not only for social media. Internet is not only for Instagram. Yes, it's good for Instagram when you're also doing your business there and you also socialize, because sometimes you need to cool down your brain. So one of the way people relax is to go to the social media, Facebook, Instagram. But likewise, it's also a source of idea for you. So now the internet will be more useful for you this year than just social media. You will now be using the internet to search for job. And all you will type on in the Google is KYC job for Nigerians or KYC job in UK that you can work remotely. And when you type all of those things, it will pop it up. You can get it on Job Bears, you can get it on JobServe or whichever website. And one good news for you is that if you are very, very experienced in these jobs, you will be surprised that some of them are ready to sponsor you with a visa to Nigeria, to wherever they are. So some of them comes with visa sponsorship. So if possible, once in a day, try to apply for as much as 3, 4, 5 of this job. That is after you have acquired the skill. That is after you have gotten the knowledge that, okay, I now know more about KYC job, so I can now put in for this job. The same thing applies to anti-money laundering and fraud detection. Banks in the other world, banks in UK, banks in US, Canada, they want to have people that will access or review performances and trends of transactions coming to their customers' accounts. In the UK here, when they see that some things are not regular in your bank account, the bank will call you and say that, oh, we noticed some irregularities. Can you defend where this money is coming from or where this money is going to, if it is an outflow or inflow? And when they discover that this irregularity is consistent, the next thing they will do is they will say that they can't do business with you anymore. It's either they give you your money back or they tell you to give them an account they will transfer the money to. So what they do is they assess you. They are trying to be careful of anti-money laundering and financing of crime or terrorism. So banks are very careful with all of these things, and they needed people to do this job. Yes, automation is coming in place to make a replacement to some of these roles, but they still need people to interact with the process. I'm aware that there is a factory in the UK that is robot does most of their work. Robot will pick the clothes, pass it to the next person, but they still need some interface of human. And when the robot break down, somebody needs to repair it. So that tech level that you will get to be relevant for any form of automation is what we are saying here today. So you need to be on top of your game. The last part of areas that company needs tech for is devs, process automation, like I said. So they will need people that will develop that product aside from those that will do the research. Like I said earlier, I am careful with tech jargons that will make some people feel discouraged. I am careful with tech jargons that will make some people not want to like continue with this training. So that is why I'm being very sensitive by not mentioning some of those things. Although I have in the call some other experts that will be shedding more light for when we get to the advanced level on some of these tech skills as well. And they will be teaching us on how to benefit from these skills in this 2024. But like I said, user research, user interface and user experience, content design, social media management, KYC, anti-money laundering, all these things are areas that you can piggyback on people like us that have done it or are doing it. And at the same time, you can also look for help through other platforms that will be sharing with us when we start the practical training. Now, so looking at those areas that I've shared with you earlier, now let's look at some essential tech skills, because I've explained some of these even in my last slide, but I will just mention it because I've gone a bit higher, because I just checked through and I see that instead of the number of people reducing, it kept increasing. So what it implies is that people are really not fearful to take up this challenge. I was already feeling like when it gets to mentioning these jargons, people may start withdrawing and say like, no, I don't want to give myself any headache. But like the slogan that is trending this 2024, they said no grief for anybody. So even no grief for yourself, because you have to be on top of your game this year. And you can't be doing it the same way to get a different result. So why not take up one of these skills here and get a different result? And that the result will be one, financial transformation. So what I did here is just a summary of what I've explained to you earlier. Then what does a UX user researcher or UX designer does? So the user researcher conduct the research for the companies. We try to understand what the user wants. We know their needs, what exactly they want to have in the app, and the behavior of the user and their challenges. Then we present it to the service designer or user experience designer, and they came up with that design. So let me quickly now stop sharing this screen and show you how a user UX design looks like. So I'll quickly show you, and then I will be using my FinREMIT to share with you how a user experience, a user design looks like. So you will know that, oh, so this is how website softwares are being developed before it becomes what you are now seeing globally. So 1 second, please. Trying to share my screen. So for you to we use different solutions to design UI UX. So but the designer that worked on FinREMIT project, they used Figma. So for some of you, you might have heard about Figma. So don't be afraid. It is not a big stuff. It's just a software that is called Figma. So don't be afraid. But it's just for you to see that this man is not saying what he's not doing. So if you can see my screen, you just type 1. And this is what a UI UX looks like. So what happens is that the user researcher first conduct the research. We try to do what will the customer need. So I have been doing this research on FinREMIT since 2019, 2020. And I identified that migrant in diaspora needs how they can invest in businesses in Nigeria. And that will be our next class for some of us that are business oriented. So in our next class, we'll be looking at how can FinREMIT be of benefit to you, such that maybe your business that you are doing in Nigeria, how can you sign up on FinREMIT? And we migrants in Nigeria that is looking for businesses that they can trust and invest in can take advantage of it. So that is some of the things FinREMIT is doing. And one of the things we are doing at FinREMIT is what we are doing now. We expose you to opportunity to make you learn to earn. So it's a learning platform where we tell people financial educations on how they can learn new skills so that they can earn more money and keep that money using our wallets and the likes. So now I'll quickly zoom through and show you what is here. So this is how our app will work. So when you download the app and you install it, this screen comes first, this come next, this come next, and that's that. When you click next, it takes you to here. And this is how it does for the whole app, up to savings, saving of money, onboarding of customer, saving your money. Can you see how much, how big it is? This is what a UI UX person does before the software is being developed. But the person will not, this is the invest module. So the person that is going to, yeah, I'll stop sharing now. So the person that would design the UI UX will not also be able to do anything without the user research outcome. So what it implies is that as a user researcher, you need a UI UX person. The output of your user research is what the UI UX will be using to design. And when the UI UX finish their design, they hand it over to the developers to develop. So this is not for today's class. It's just to show you practically what you will be doing if you are taking up roles in that kind of area. So going back to my slide now, quick one. So now, as a user researcher, like I said from the current slide, um, so as a user researcher, these are what you will be doing and hand it over to a user designer, a UX designer. And then another area that you can also look out is data analytics and visualization. You see, I did not mention this earlier, but we all know what relevance data has in this present world that we have. In fact, when people talks about the problem that we are having in Nigeria, that was the major problem Nigeria is facing, blah, 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 a lot of people will say that there is no data. That actually, do they even know the data of the people they want to give this money? Do they really know? And when we say, why is developed country develop and keep developing, the reason is just because there is data to work with. So then the availability of data is not important when it is not in a usable form. So making data be in a usable form and to display insights, because like user researcher as well, when we do our user research, it's not useful for a user designer or service designer until we bring out insights and bring the flow, which we call user journey. So it is the user journey that now inform that design that I just showed you, that UI UX designed, and then the UI UX design takes the design to the front end and back end, and the software comes up. So the same thing applies to data. When you have a data, many of us now, we have data. In fact, World Bank doesn't joke with data. And that is why some software, you discover that they kept getting grants, kept getting more money, and be wondering, how are these people making money? This thing is free. ChatGPT, the AI we are talking about, ChatGPT is making serious money and is at the background. How much are you paying for AI? No one is paying any amount. It's free. You just go there. The only thing is when you want to go for advanced features, you then upgrade your membership, then you start paying some little amount. But the truth about it is that data is the first thing that you need, and then you now take the data out to get insight from it. Who does all of this job? People that generate data don't know how to work with those data. So they need a data analytics to put the data in a visual that can make them make informed decision. And this data analytics is really gaining a lot of insight, a lot of ground now in the developed world, because it's not only, unlike user researcher or maybe UX designer, or you don't need to have a kind of a graphics design experience or anything to be a data analytics. What you need to know basically is a little skills like Excel, Power BI, and the like. But even before it gets to Power BI, start with Excel. And let's quickly do another survey. If you can use Excel in this call, type 1. If you cannot use Excel, type 2. Let's start. Excel survey. Let's know where we are starting. 2, 1. Okay. Okay. 2. So more of 1. So this is a good news to you. 2, less of 2. So those that mentioned 2, all we need to do is just do a small class to brush you up on Excel. The truth about it is there is beginning in Excel, there is intermediary, there is advanced. You can do a lot of data analytics with Excel, that is true, but to some extent you need some other skills. But when you know Excel to some extent, then you are already at the advanced level. I know Learn with Pride, they are very good with training people on all of these, and I think the CEO of Learn with Pride should be joining me anytime soon. I will check the call now and see if he's in. And if he's in, he can just say hi to us, so I will be very sure that he's here. So so Learning with Pride, they are good with data analytics. But one thing we will do from FinREMIT is that if you want to have basic computer knowledge, like you don't know anything about computer, you can't even power on a computer, because I know some people will be like that. It's not that is a crime, because for some that says they can do without a computer, then they may not need to have any business to do with computer. So if you are in that category, FinREMIT and AmuGold and with my team in Nigeria, we would see how we can give you free computer learning beginner class, a free one, because it will be difficult for you to take up any of these tech skills that I've been explaining since morning if you don't have a basic computer experience. So, okay, yeah, Learn with Pride is on the call. Thank you, Mr. Lydie. So, it will be difficult for you to take up these basic skills without having the basic, take up these tech skills without having the basic computer knowledge that you desire. So, we will try and put up a class. So, for anyone that is interested in the free computer literacy class, just to know how to power on a system, how to sub the website, what to do, where to go on the website and do anything, or Google and the likes. So if you are interested in that class, just drop it in the chat session, or you send a WhatsApp to the numbers that will be dropping on the chat area. So send a WhatsApp to those numbers, then they will keep in touch with you. So it's going to be a free class for you. So so do that. I've just dropped the numbers on the chat area. So chat with them and say that you are interested in the free computer class. That is the computer literacy class. That's just a basic. We are not even supposed to be saying that here. Then the next will now be that for those that have Excel skill, then congratulations to you. You are almost ready. Although you may need to access your level of Excel, because the software you will be using for data analytics may be more broader than Excel. It is even not may, is definitely going to be. So I will give chance for Learn with Pride to also open us to some of these skills, and it's not only data analytics. So do let me dwell much on that. Another area that you can start learning and earning money is adopting artificial intelligence and machine learning. Recently, I was reading and I learned somebody was saying he's already making money on AI. And I was like, how come you started making money on AI already? He said, you have to be smart, because if you are not smart, the system will outsmart you. And it was like, being an adopter of AI, you need to just find a way to improve companies' experience and outcome using AI. So these are things that we can also teach you on how you can start using, because the AI is not something you just type to send you reply and you copy and dump. There are ways you humanize it, and there are solutions that are already people are paying for to humanize this AI, to write project for them, and it's not going to be, how do I put it? It's not going to change the process. You know, in the countries like UK, for example, um, there is a level to which you can pirate or copy or paste information, especially if you are doing a research in school. There's what they call Turnitin. So when you put it on Turnitin will tell you the percentage of what you have brought that is being plagiarized, that is not from your original source. So people copying and pasting is also not just how to use AI. So if you are a very good adopter and user of AI, companies would like to engage you to use it in the best approach that would make them original. Because many people now these days, when they read information and they're like, this is AI, they don't attach relevance to some of those information because people are already misusing it. But in the real sense, you can start making money from this as well. We'll teach you and show you how you can do some of these things. Now, the last thing is digital transformation specialist. I told you earlier that user researcher, project manager, product owner, scrum masters. I didn't mention these ones before because I don't want to crack your brain and make you feel like, what is this man saying this 2024? But these names I'm calling, these roles I'm calling, they are roles that is raking in 6-digit income for people in developed countries like UK. So imagine you earning £70,000, $70,000 in a year. That is, if it is even in dollar and I put it at 1,000 per dollar, it is 70 million naira in a year. Yes, like I said earlier, if you earn that money while you are living in the UK, yes, there are bills for you to pay. But if you earn such money and you are very lucky to get a job that allows you to work anywhere in the world and you don't need to travel to any place, imagine what will happen to your finance in 2024 if you land yourself a job in KYC, user research, and all of these areas that you don't need to relatively pay too much like we pay here in the UK. That is total transformation for you. So what am I trying to say is that companies now want to engage people that has these skills for their digital transformation. Take for example, in Amugod now, in my company where we produce shea butter, we are trying to automate and transform our ordering process such that our customers, because we have challenges when customers order, they needed to know what stage it is in the production, just like what Domino does in the UK here for some of us that are in the UK. You know, when you order on Domino's app, Domino will tell you when your pizza is already in the oven. The Domino will tell you the next stage of your pizza, and it will tell you when the Korean logistic person is bringing it and when it arrives. So something like that is what we are trying to also work on in Amugod, and is a digital transformation exercise for us. So for us to do these things, we don't need to start cracking our brain and be telling our manager or GM or somebody to say, we are going to do these things. All we need to do is to commission what they call a multidisciplinary expert to say that, oh, we need a project manager to manage this project because it's a project. We need a product owner to own this product. We need a scrum master to manage all the team on what they do on daily basis. We need a software engineer to develop the software. We need a tester to test that software after it has been developed. And we need developed teams and the likes to work in that, other developers to work on that project, whether front end or back end and the likes. So all of these things are skills that is raking as much as £500 per day, £400 per day to people. And there are things you can learn, most especially Scrum Masters. For Scrum Masters, as long as you are good in coordinating people, you can do these things. Like I said earlier, I will be giving room to Learn with Pride very soon so that they can also share some of their screen. And the good news is I think they are even having a discount going on now. So for some of you that want to do data analytics, Scrum Masters, all you need to do is just tell them FinREMIT, then they will apply a discount for you. The CEO will tell you when it gets to that level. But for me, I think it's just to open your eyes to some of these opportunities. So what is the next thing that you need to consider now? So why do you need to start a career tech? Like I've said this earlier, you can earn as much as 50,000 per annum from career job, from tech jobs, tech skills, if you don't want to use it for your business. Because for me, if I learn data analytics today, it's not only going to be useful for me to work in my company and to work in the organization that I will be working with. It's also going to be useful for me in FinREMIT because I will be working with data. It's also going to be useful for me in Amugod because I will be working with data. I will be seeing the performance of my distributors, performance of my sales, and at the same time be able to work around it. So aside from the fact that these tech skills you are going to get, and for some of us that are civil servants here, that will feel like, if I get that job of tech data analytics and I'm working for somebody, how will it be relevant? Don't you know that there are some things that you know? I'm aware. When I went to Nigeria recently, one of my staff came and he said he has a data analytics experience. I was just smiling and I was looking. And I said, go and get a raw data from a department and analyze it. Let me see. He did it and I was looking. Yes, I've seen what he has done and I knew that he has that skill. Already, I have him at the back of my mind as a potential skills for data analytics because he is already good in this thing. All you need is maybe we enroll him for advanced training, or we put him through more and he starts doing that job for us. So if we need to analyze any data in AmuGold, we get him. So if you are working for your company now, or you are working in a government agency or the likes, you may be surprised that when you acquire these skills, it can enhance your promotion or enhance your career advancement, even in your place of work. All you need is present your certificate that you now have these skills and you are good to go. And if at retirement, some of us, when we are about to retire, that's when we look for work to do. That what will I invest on when I'm retiring? But before you retire, acquire these skills. And at retirement, you go because you don't need age. Age is not your barrier. Age is not a barrier for you. Um, and at the same time, qualification is not a barrier. So imagine you finishing job as a civil servant, you retire or as anything, and you now started this work from home. Just sit down in your home, coordinate people together, because as a scrum master, what you do is coordination. You take what this person has said, what he's doing, put it together, and you present it to the decision makers, and you say, this is what you guys are doing. All of these things you can learn it this 2024. So don't make any time, don't waste any time this year. These are the opportunities that you have in the tech industry, and I would not want anyone to take it for granted. So what do you need to get started? The number one thing is um, basic computer knowledge. And like I said earlier, we are going to provide you with some of this basic computer knowledge. So if you need, you need to operate a computer, like I said, and I will try as much as possible from our hand to put you through. The second thing is you have to have a beginner skills in Excel. So for some of you that have that skills already, congratulations. But for some that doesn't, we would try and see, talk to my team in AmuGold and see how we can give you true Excel knowledge in as low as maybe £50, and we ensure that you have a good Excel skill. So if you are interested in our Excel class, please do not hesitate to also chat with the numbers that have dropped on the chat session. Then I'm dropping another number now, so that could be the second number that you may be chatting with if you are in the UK. But if you are in Nigeria, you chat with the other number that I just dropped. So Mr. Mayo, I'll take those two numbers, put Nigeria for Nigeria, and put UK for UK. So if you are in the UK with at low as £50, we'll just put you through, brush you through on what you need to know with Excel. But if your knowledge is advanced already in Excel, then we will just advance you through to the next people that would help you to have a better knowledge in the tech skills that you are interested on. So anytime soon now, I will ask you also to start dropping the areas that we think is in line with our area of understanding, but I will wait for Learn with Pride to finish their presentation before that. The next thing is passion. You need passion for this. You see, the truth is when I started user research as a user researcher, it gets to a point. I told my wife, there is what we do every morning. We call it stand-up meeting. It's always 15 minutes, 30 minutes sometimes. So when it's time for stand-up meetings, I always feel like, oh, I've not finished these tasks. I've not done this. I need to, because you have to report what you did yesterday, what you want to do today, and the likes. So, but when the passion starts coming in, I begin to feel like, yes, this job is something that I am having that passion for, and I'm seeing it as something that is also helping my other line of business. So when I started working on FinREMIT, it was so seamless for us, and all the outcome talking to my users was relatively very easy. So this is a quick one as regards what you would need to do. The last thing is commitment and sacrifice. You would need to commit your time. Nothing good comes easily. Like I said, I will open the website now for you to see where you will be looking for job when we finish some of these trainings, and see how you can make these 6-digit income for yourself. I will open it, you will see it yourself. And after that, I will hand over to Learn with Pride. So I believe by then it will be ready to show us some insight as regard those skills that we can take advantage of. So quickly, let me open these while Mr. Akin, you can start getting set from your side while I just open the last thing that I have here for us. Then in addition, please, I want us to note that we will be, for those that are interested in business and finance, we'll be having another webinar soon. We'll be sharing it with you on the business and how to enhance or improve your business. If you want grants for your business, where you can visit to get grants for your business, we would be putting you through that on a separate seminar, because this year information is key. Information is key. So we'll try as much as possible to push out a lot of information to us, especially those that wants to. Today's own is those that want to acquire some tech skills that will make them earn more money. So now what I'm doing here is, let me start with user researcher. So let me search for a user researcher job here. And you can see here that a user researcher job here, the first job that pops up here, is going to pay you 40,000 to 70,000 per annum in UK pounds. So, and then I think let's even use 1,500 naira as the exchange rate. So you do the exchange yourself and see how much that will be in Nigeria naira. So that's like 105 million naira in a year. So if you divide by 12, that's like 8 million naira in a month. Yes, this is for people living in the UK. Some of them will even put it that you must be living in the UK or blah, blah, blah. But when you go to Google, you can say, oh, I'm interested in user research. I will talk to Mr. Tope to put me through and also train me on user research. I think our user research training is around 150 to 200 pounds, and it's something that we put you through carefully. But what it means is that when you want to now search for your job and you are in Nigeria, we would make sure that your search is limited to jobs that can allow you work from Nigeria, maybe. And at the same time, we also ensure that when you are getting a job, we would put you through, mentor you, and support you in one way or the other, so that when you start landing those jobs, you don't feel disturbed and you are able to also get it done. There are also opportunities like some of these jobs, like I said earlier, can give you visa sponsorship as well. So we can also search around that as much as we can. So the last job that I will be searching for now, and I would be handing over finally to Mr. Akin, is the KYC. So you can see it on the screen here. Okay, yeah, it's even bringing out some other ones. You know, I mentioned project manager as well. So if you are doing a project manager in the UK, you can earn as much as 500 to 550 pounds per day. And the good news is that you can do these things remotely from anywhere in the world. Remotely from anywhere in the world. So see customer service job advisor here. Yeah. So yeah, basically those are okay. You can see another one here. These are even customer service, not KYC. So these are okay. Compliance manager is for KYC. Look at this now. It's 300 pounds to 480 pounds per day. And I'm just wishing that somebody in Nigeria land this kind of job. It's like Beniyeshe Ogunwo in Yoruba. So at this point, I want to say a big thank you to you all. The numbers that you can chat with on WhatsApp is still going on our chat area. So the bottom line is that if you have joined this session today, you have not made a mistake. One thing is, number one, don't take the information you are getting today for granted. Number two, don't wait till tomorrow before you take action. Communicate with us. Let us know exactly the skills that you'll be needing. Even if it is ordinary Excel skill, try to acquire it. If it is just the free computer knowledge that I want to give you, try to acquire it. Please, we are not concerned about making money through you. We are concerned about you making money for a better Nigeria. Because our point is, when you make more money, maybe you are even the buyer of my product, you will be able to buy more share butter, you'll be able to buy more atalilo. So those are the things that we're really concerned about. So once again, I thank you all. Please note your questions, because we'll be going to the question and answer session soon. Then I would like to hand over to Mr. Akin now, or that's Learn with Pride. So Learn with Pride, over to you. You can come in now. Do you want to share your screen or?
Mute. Oh, all right. I can unmute now. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good. You are welcome. Good evening.
Yeah, although I don't really have, let me share my screen, although I don't have much on my screen, but let's share what we have. Apologies, this might be very quick,
No worries.
but I'll do my best. Just give me 1 second. All
So
right,
for
All
for
right, go
those
on.
in the UK, so this most of what Mr. King is saying will be very good for you. So and then for some in Nigeria as well, I think they're having a summit for tech very soon. So it's also going to help you
Yes,
scale
six
forward. So
six of
thank you very
April.
much. Yeah,
All right. Most of the things I'm going to say, I'll be freelancing anyway, so please bear with me. All right. Quick introduction. My name is Akin Oladeji, and I'm the founder of Learn with Pride. Learn with Pride is an IT training organization based in the UK. So what we do is we help anyone that wants to transition to tech, regardless of your background, from non-IT, non-technical background into the IT space. So that's what we do, and we focus on practicals. Because that is that is the most important. Recruiters these days are looking for people who can hit the ground running, right? They are looking for people who can do the job, not people that knows it by the book. A typical example, they ask you, maybe what is Agile? You went online, maybe the one that you read on Google, you are quoting it to them. They will fish you out immediately that, oh, this guy, you know, is giving us a textbook answer. So we concentrate on practicals, on getting your hands dirty. So even after our trainings, we still put you on a project, to solidify what you've learned, on the training. And our project, you'll be working as part of a group, as part of a team to deliver a solution, depending on the course that you register on. But the bottom line is we focus on practicals. All right, so that is Learn with Pride. That is what we do. But I think what will benefit most people on this call is actually, I would say, maybe a story, my own personal journey. You know, my background is accounting. I've got even masters in accounting, and I've been living in the UK for like 20 years now. And for those who are in the UK, and meanwhile, mind you, going back to the training, anyone around the world can attend that training, regardless of your country, whether Nigeria, Ghana, Zimbabwe. It's remote because most people now are looking for remote job. And when you have the right skill, the right knowledge, regardless of your country, you can apply for remote jobs anywhere you are. All right. So for those in the UK, that is why it is important. Maybe when you first relocate, the people you mingle with would determine the greater part of your life. Unfortunately, the people I mingled with when I came was, given the idea of, forget about office job. You better go and do care. You better go and do security, where you do long hours for you to get the money. And me, even after I finished my master's masters in accounting, instead of me looking for office job, I didn't look for any office job, you know. I was doing security, my own aim was to get to the top of security level. We have for those in security line, we have different levels in security. You have retail, you have event, you have corporate. So my aim is to get to corporate security. But even aside that, I've done all sorts: cleaner, warehouse, name it, Uber driver. I've done all sorts for many years. Many years. I've never worked a day as an accountant. Never. So one day, just the thing just dawned on me that life cannot continue this way. But meanwhile, I achieved my aim of getting to the corporate level of security. you know. But I think there's a purpose for everything. I think God actually wants me to get to that state, or to that level that I wanted for myself, to see the reality. So when I got to the top of security corporate level, I was working for RBS, a banking industry, a banking in the UK. I'll be at the barrier gate, suit up, you know, small guys, you know, they will be passing through the barriers. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Some that are not even up to your level, you know, they won't even respond back to you, you know. So it started getting to me gradually. And some of them I became friends with. I'll ask them, what are you doing here? Maybe some of them can say, oh, business analyst. I've been working as a contractor for the last 3 years. Like roughly, just give me the range. Don't tell me how much you are getting, but what's the range of how much you are getting? Some can say between 250 and 500, some between 400 and 700. Wow. I said to myself, so some people can be in this country and be getting 400 pounds per day, 500 pounds per day. Wow. I couldn't believe myself, because prior to that, whenever I see a young guy living good life, riding good cars, dressing good, I always think this guy is a Yahoo or is doing fraud, you know? Until these people started telling me they are getting 500, 600 a day. These people are not better than me. I can do better for myself. So when I'm on duty, I now change my shift to night shift for me to study. I started reading, going for all different certifications, thinking that will give me the edge to break through to any of these jobs, like maybe business analyst, project manager, blah, blah, blah. Again, I had so many certificates, maybe like 3 of them, but nothing was forthcoming. I said, what now? Well, God so good. From nowhere, someone just told me that, you know, there's a masterclass training for software automation. If you don't mind, you can join them. They are having the session, overview session or tester session. You can join if you like it. You can join the bootcamp. I said, okay. Remember, I was coming from a non-technical background. Even at that time, I don't think I know anything again in accounting. So my background was non-IT, non-technical. And the training, the tester session I went for was software automation that involves writing codes in programming language like C#, right? It was really technical for me. But I asked them a question that day that, you know what? Is it possible for someone with no knowledge, no IT skill, no IT background to embark on this journey, and not only embark at the end of the journey, able to secure a job at the end of the day? And the guy said, you know, whatever you put your mind to, you can do it. Nothing is impossible. I started the journey, you know, but I said to myself, I just don't want to do this training for the sake of doing the training. I want to make use of this training. So I configured my mind in such a way that I know the road will be rough, very rough, because I'm not used to this at all, but I'm ready to do the work. In my class, I want to be the best that people will come to ask for help. Oh, I'm stuck. Can you please help me out? Not that I know it, but that would challenge me to go and read more so that I can give them a solution. By reading more, I'm equipping myself. I'm, you know, in every way, I'm getting better. And that happened. In my set, I was one of the best. People will come to me thinking I know it. But actually, I will go research and, you know, I'll come back with the answer. I was working, I was still doing my security job, you know. It wasn't easy. I've got families as well. I can't study during the day. I had to sacrifice out of my sleeping time. Maybe I was supposed to sleep from 12 to 5. I had to sacrifice maybe 2 hours or 3 hours out of that sleeping time for me to do something on that new career path I wanted to embark on. Because the thing is, it's not a magic. When you are transitioning, your input is going to equal to your output at the end of the day. It's like what you see is what you get. If you don't put in your effort, it will show at the end of the day. So I buried myself into that process, that by fire, by force. This time around, I want a change. I want to change by fire, by force. So at the end of that program, at the end of the 3 months, I started applying for a job. And this is what I tell my students now. It is not about what you know, but you still need to do your own bit for God to perfect the rest. I started applying for jobs. Maybe I'm one of the lucky ones. 2 weeks after I started applying for job, back-to-back interviews, I secured my very first role as a software automation engineer. That was a turnaround in my life. So the whole Learn with Pride today, started from that singular decision I made back then to transition. And it worked out for me. Why? Because if you see me there, then you ask me that, are you sure you are all right? My eyeballs will be red. I will look tired, But I know it's a sacrifice that has to be made for me to get to the next level, So that is why I tell people now, whatever you set your mind to do, whatever you want to accomplish, it is doable. Even if you want to become a web developer and you have no knowledge how to code, it is possible. You just need someone to take you on that journey. That is why there's a difference between when you buy a course on Udemy or you watch YouTube videos, because there are loads of materials out there. But when you are stuck, you have nobody to ask a question. That is when training organization that has the right support, that is when they comes in. You have people to go to. You have people to ask questions. IT jobs became so popular after COVID. Why? Because it now gives many the opportunity to start working from home, remote jobs. So other sectors like the health sectors and others are now looking at, these people are enjoying, because they cannot achieve the same thing. As a doctor, you have to physically go in and do your shift, whether it's a 12-hour shift or 14 hours. As a nurse, you have to. And me talking, I'm not restricting it to the people in the UK. It's everywhere now I'm talking about. So it became so popular that people want to transition because they see it can give them the flexibility of life that they are looking for. It can give them that family life balance that they are looking for. You can be at the comfort of your home and work. You can be in Nigeria and work for a company in Malta, in Canada. It is possible. Some people might doubt that how possible is that, but sometimes my people perish. Is it Bible that said that my people perish because of lack of knowledge or what? What you know is what you know. What you don't know, you don't know. Sometimes some people might say, oh, my dad's farm is the biggest. It's because you haven't seen some other people's one. That is why you think maybe your dad's farm is the biggest. So information is power. Information is key. Information is important. Very, very key. Whatever you set your mind to do, you can accomplish with the right support, with the right mentorship. There are loads of trainings or loads of IT jobs that are out there. My own nephew is I trained him. Now he's doing 3 different jobs as a software tester, software automation tester, 3 different ones. At the moment, as I'm talking to you now, he's in Nigeria since December. He's on holiday, but at the same time, he's working from Nigeria. This guy, are you not coming back? He meant to bring something from me. Oh, maybe January ending. At first, it told me maybe early January is coming back. Now it's January ending. It went since the beginning of December, and he's working. at the same time on holiday. That is the kind of life you can get. Is on 6 digits. Definitely by the time you sum all the salaries that he's getting, I'm sure it's way over £150,000. And this was a guy that never worked a day in an office before. He has been a DJ since the beginning of his life. You know? And I trained him on software testing when I still used to train. I stopped training now. And now he's doing really good. So that is why I tell people, whatever you set your mind to do, you can accomplish. There's nothing too difficult to do. There is absolutely nothing too hard to accomplish. But the mistake you shouldn't do or you shouldn't make is don't transition because you saw your friend earning £500 a day as a business analyst. And you two now rush that, you know what, oh, I want to go and do business analyst training. What you fail to realize is your friend's strength might be different from yours, because you need to consider what you are good at as well when you are considering a change in career. Believe it or not, we are all good with in one thing or the other. We all have our personal strength. Some people are good when it comes to communication. When it comes to customer facing, they are really good. And some people don't like wahala. They don't like too much stress, you know. They just want to do their job and go. They don't want you to disturb them at all, you know. Let me just do my job. I don't want to be involved in all this politics. You need to understand or identify what you are good at. So if you now see your friend now working, getting £400 a day as a business analyst, and you now rush to say, oh, let me go and take a business analyst course. Midway to that course, you now realize that, oh, this course is not for me. Then it's too late. So don't base your decision because you saw someone else doing it. Do your own findings. If there's a video to watch to make you understand what each role stands for or what you are going to be doing for each role, watch it for you to have, so you'll be able to make an informed decision. Take, for example, you are the type that you don't like too much communication, you don't like to manage people, documentation, it's not your thing. You now went to go and undertake a Scrum Master role or a business analyst role, whereby your main duties there is to document, to manage stakeholders, to organize meetings and all of that. And meanwhile, that is not you personally. How do you survive on such job? So that is why you need to consider what you are good at. There are different roles out there. Some of them are on the screen right now. We have project management. And these are just the average salary I put on the screen. Scrum Master Product Owner, 65. Average salary, project management, like 60, business analysis, and these are permanent roles. But if you are considering a contract role, you can see the average as well. For project management, like £400 a day. For Scrum Master, like £450 a day. Like business analysis, £350. Software testing, like £300. Average, that is what I'm saying. And meanwhile, in the UK, the average, what majority gets in the UK, I'm sure 50-60% is between £18,000 and £35,000. And you completing a course with your that you put your sweat, your energy, everything into that process, and you finish, you start applying for a job, and at the end of the day, you were able to secure a role over 40,000 naira. That means you are even outside that bracket of average. And you only invested how long? Maybe 3 months of your time into that process, or 4 months of your time. But when I say 4 months, I'm talking about an everyday commitment to that process. So it is achievable. It is doable. You just need to find out, what am I good at? What is my strength? Which of these courses can I take on? And when you make that decision, tell yourself, that no matter what, I'm not going to give any excuse for not attending a class or not doing what I'm supposed to do, or not committing my time every day into that process. I understand we are all busy. We all have our daily life. Maybe we have to do 9 to 5 or 7 to 7, or you've got family. But out of the no time, always create a time for you to fulfill your dream. It might not be easy. It won't be easy. It is not, I can't sugarcoat it. It will not be easy. Using myself as an example, I know it wasn't easy. I'll have bags at the bottom of my, my eyes, as in it was horrible during my own time. Why? Because I sleep less. But if my thinking is, if I'm going through all this stress, but the payout is good at the end of the day, then it's worth it. So what I'm trying to say is, don't think there's a miracle anywhere that, oh, you know what? Let's say the classes is only twice a week. You cannot restrict your learning to twice a week and you expect to get result at the end of the 3 months or 4 months. No. You need to go above and beyond what has been taught in class for you to be able to compete with people who are out there. Don't say, oh, how am I going to survive? There are people that have been doing this thing for the last 5 years. Me, I just did a 3 month. How am I going to cope? Don't think like that. If you actually commit yourself, because on the training, they will teach you what you need to know to get your first job. The necessary things you need to know to get your first job. But don't make the mistake that even after getting that job that you want to stop learning. In IT, learning never stops. Learning never stops. And so that's what we do so with my own personal journey, that is why we still continue to grow and put a better service in place. But that is what we've tried to, for our students, at least to make transitioning much more easier for them. What we are trying to build is a community so that you have something to fall back on. Assuming you even get this job as a data analyst or web developer, but you are stuck at work. There's no how, you'll be stuck. Who do you call? Call a friend. Who do you call? You need to call someone. That is why you need to leverage on the community that you have. Maybe I'll still have better time, as in much more time, maybe to come back and, dive in deep to all these courses, But what we offer quickly before I go at Learn with Pride, maybe like 8 different trainings. Yeah, all these trainings that you can see here, we do offer them. Scrum, project management, Scrum Master. So project management / product management, Scrum Master, business analysis, software testing, DevOps engineer, data analysis, database engineer, web development. We are not offering WordPress at the moment. We stopped that. So those are the courses that we offer at Learn with Pride. With any one of them, you'll get the full support, mentorship, practical training, interview preparation, what else? Then we give you work reference as well for the duration that you are with us, because at the end of the day, you need a company to say you worked as either data analyst or software tester. So we'll give you a reference as well to put on your CV, and many other things that we do to support our students as well after that. But hopefully next time I'll have much more time. I'm rushing because I have another session starting in the next 3-5 minutes. That's why I'm rushing. But with this story of mine, I'm sure there might be 2 or 3 or 4 people out there that is in my shoe, or the shoe I was years back, that they are currently there now. Don't give up. Whatever you are doing now that you don't really like, keep doing it, continue doing it, but set a target for yourself. Set a target for yourself that, in the next 6 months, I want to achieve this, and that. You can make it happen. I don't have 2 heads. People out there transitioning don't have 2 heads. If I can do it, transitioning from an accounting background, non-tech, to a very technical background, software automation, anybody out there can transition. You just have to be determined enough to make it happen. Determination plus favor will get you the job. So hopefully I've been able to impact your decision or your thoughts one way or the other. And hopefully, if you want to contact me or ask further question, Temitope will be the best man for you to contact. It will give you every lowdown that you want on every of these courses as well. So from me to you, I say a very big thank you for having me, and hopefully I'll come back some other time that I have enough time, to share more, because I know you have 1 or 2 questions, but unfortunately I won't be able to take any question because of my other session starting in the next 1-2 minutes. So thanks very much. I really do appreciate. Temitope, back to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Akin. Don't worry, we'll be having you again in subsequent sessions. So I will take questions together after now. Then I will rearrange sessions for when we know what people want in different categories. Then you can now talk to them in their different categories. So you can send messages to those WhatsApp pages that we've shared with you, while I allow Akin to go for his next class. So in the meantime, the summary of everything is that what I've just shared on the screen, decide on what to do. You need to be able to make a decision now. So if it is just computer operating a computer system, we have said it that we would be willing to support you, prepare you ahead. So, and we'll do that for you for free. If you want to go to the level of Excel and advanced Excels and the likes, we would also do that for you at a token of maybe £50 and then £25 for those in Nigeria. Sorry, 25,000 for those in Nigeria, because we know the situation there is otherwise. Then for user researcher, we could take as low as 200 to put you through, guide you in everything you need. And for the digital transformation skills that Akin has showed us, yeah, when you give us this list, yes, we would discuss discount with Akin and ensure that it doesn't cost you much. And these are the old things that will make sure you go through. So when you decide on what to do, we schedule a one-to-one session with you. You start your learning, and as soon as possible, I wish you start those learnings, and then you go through mentorship stage. Then you start earning your money, and also you do some post-learning support. In my own capacity as well, I will try as much as possible to see how we can even start engaging some of you locally for taxing, even in Nigeria, as the case may be, because even AmGold itself as a company will be needing some skills like maybe somebody that is a data analyst and the likes. And we can also refer you to people that we know may need those skills. Though the payment may not be very good, as we've said, but at least it's better to have a side also to get some extra money while you are doing the training. But the most important thing is we wish you land these pounds that we're saying. That's our target. That's our vision. If you cannot be in the UK physically, why not join the team to make this money? And this money, when you make it, you are not sharing it with anybody. It's your money. So all you will be investing on is the skills, yeah, the knowledge that you'll be getting. So, and there is no pain without, no gain without any pain. So at this point, I would allow the team to ask questions. So anyone can ask question now. So what you do is you can raise your hand if you have questions. So this is the quick question and answer session. So for those that are in Nigeria, just send the message to those number on the screen. So if you have any question, you are free to raise your hand, so we can then allow you to unmute. So please, as many as who wants to ask question, you can raise your hand. Yes, I would like to say a little apology to those that join in the middle. The session is recorded, and we'll try as much as possible to share the link with you, whether on our YouTube channel. We'll share the link so that you can have a playback of the session for those that join at the middle. We started earlier than scheduled. So, but I think it's a very good one. And yes, so we have one hands up already. So on the screen here, we have the Nigerian number you can send messages to if you are in Nigeria. And we have the UK number if you are in the UK. So all you need to do is send us a message and select the area of interest that you will be willing to start with now. Yes, for I think our team will start um, scheduling people for sessions, like people that would be starting the computer literacy skills, the free literacy skills. Please try and show your interest as soon as possible. We are open to start that class maybe the next 1 week for those, and it's going to be 100% free, practical as well. And then from there, we know those that wanted to brush up their Excel skills, you can also do that, and then we migrate you to the next level. For user research, we are starting 1st of February. So if you're interested in the user research skill as well, please express your interest on time. So at this point, I will be allowing those that have question to ask their question. I don't know if there are any question in the chat session. So if there is any, so you call our attention to it. Yeah, so now Mr. Olubo will be allowing you to ask your question. Okay, so you can unmute now.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, thank you, our CEO, Mr. Temitope Amujo. God bless you, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much for this wonderful session tonight. Please, I just want to make an inquiry. I work with the Directorate of Entrepreneurship and Entrepreneurial Studies and Skills Acquisition, Federal University, Lokoja.
Okay.
And in fact, I'm very sure I think one Dr. Nimisi should be on this group. That's my director.
Okay.
And we actually have what we call a compulsory entrepreneurship course, EDS 102, 204, and 303. And then in our 303 is actually techno entrepreneurship.
Okay.
And this section actually is a good one. It's an eye-opener to what techno entrepreneurship is all about. And I just want to make an inquiry if we can have this kind of a session again, if we can have a proposal. Actually, he has directed me to talk with you on having a proposal on this, because there's nothing anyone can do now without this aspect that we are talking about. And as you have promised that this class will continue, so I want to really appreciate you and to make a plea that we'll really be grateful if this class can continue beyond this time, so that we can all be equipped for what is ahead. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Ulubo. Yes, it's not an issue. We would definitely, and we can definitely have a session for the students, the graduates, to have a session for them. And then obviously it's part of my area of passion as well, to ensure that people, at least while they are earning, while they are learning, they are also earning. And that is what we're doing here now, learn to earn. So obviously we would discuss that partnership with your school, with your Center for Entrepreneurship later. So, and then we'll make sure the proposal gets to you so that we can have the session first to at least review and know what they would need. And from there, we'll now see how we empower and then go ahead with the training. So that's not an issue, Mr. Lubo. So, and then we would, like I said in the previous one, for those that are seriously key about entrepreneurship, we'll also be having entrepreneurship sessions and on our seller page. Mr. Mayowa can drop our seller link. So when you go to our seller page, scroll down to the business and finance webinar. Is a free session. Just click on it. So just like we have it here, but that is strictly for business and financing of your business. But today is strictly for tech and technopreneurship. So you can just fill in that as well. So when you fill that, would invite you for how you can raise grant for your business and the likes and the likes. So that's a different session entirely. So we have another question on the platform. Okay, yeah, someone said, can a 17 years old be part of any of the program? Yes, a 17 years old can start the training, but the job that you will be landing depends on the policy of your employer. So if your employer cannot employ a 17 years old, then you will just need to use your transition period between 17 to 18 to learn and to gather the experience. Then from there you can then start applying for job when you are almost 18. But as far as learning it is, you can start learning. But the good news is that you can learn as a 17 years old and be a technopreneur as a 17 years old. So that does not limit you from making money. So what implies is, take for example, you take up a training on web development at 17, you finish that, and you now apply to maybe Amugold or anyone on this call that wants to develop a website for his business. I won't say because you are 17, I won't give you my website to do. So all I need is a good, a working website. But if it is only when you want to take up a salary job, like we have said now, those money that has to come in pounds, that we may be saying that, oh, they may not employ a 17 years old person if their policy does not allow. So that's very straightforward. So we have BB, your hands is up. So we would like you to also we'll give you access to unmute now. So I think you can unmute yourself now. Yes.
Okay. Hello, good day. My name is Blessing. Thank you for the session. It was very enlightening. I actually had two questions, but I think one of them has been partially answered, which is how to get access to the next webinar. I think they've posted a link. I would like to get access to that webinar on how to get grants and business, discussing more about business. The next question I have, though this session was around this IT, but you also just mentioned you are into share butter processing. Is it possible for me to contact you on that to discuss that, because I have interest in that area?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. So an apology to those others on the group. I'm a serial entrepreneur, so I have multiple of businesses. So yes, we are into share butter processing, and then we process shea butter from nut to butter, and then we package into different categories. So yes, we can discuss that after. So you can have a chat with the UK line. I will be talking to you directly on that. So send me a WhatsApp with the United Kingdom line, and we'll discuss area of business, whether for the primary, secondary, or the tertiary level of shea butter process. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And we also, on our webinar, on our seller page, we have some sessions that are actually not free that you need to pay for. We have a session for export and import for some of you that are into any form of agric or agric related projects, and then you have things you want to export out of Nigeria. So we have our export certificate, and we have export grant support to export out of Nigeria. So we have a course on that as well on our seller page. So take your time to scroll through our seller page and see the various opportunities that you can. Some of those courses are not free anyway, but you'll see the prices there. They are as low as £25 and the like. So, but there are free ones there that you can also enjoy, and some of them are even weekly. So we'll be having this time again, maybe next week. We'll be sending you reminder as well. Someone asked, my question is there a difference between project manager course in Nigeria and that in the UK? Yes, location is not, there is no difference between a project manager course in Nigeria, a project manager course in the UK. For us, the courses that we at FinREMIT, we are anchoring, like Mr. Akin also said the other time, there are some courses too that they don't go into because specialization matters. When you focus on what you are specialized in, you will be able to deliver excellently. So for us, we don't go into deeply into data analysis or thereabout. We only just talk about it in peripheral. So in terms of user research, maybe KYC, because I'm a banker by profession, so I can train anyone and somebody around KYC as little as I can. So all of those ones we can handle it. But for project management, if you are asking about the cost of the project, it may be the same. That is for the Learn with Pride. So we'll discuss with them. You can also send me a message with this same question on the UK line. But for if you want to do the project management course and you want to land yourself a job that is remote and is international job, then I will advise you that you go ahead with it and do it as a UK based person, because there are project courses in the project management in Nigeria that you can do, but I'm not guaranteeing you if they can land you a job in the UK. But if I have not interpreted your question very well, you are free to also raise your hand and I can allow you to unmute so that you can ask your question. But if it is around project management, then I think Learn with Pride will deliver the project management course as a UK training, but you can land your job wherever you are remotely with their support and their help as well. That's that I can say about project management. The other question that I have on the screen here, which I would like to read through, is will we create a foreign account for our finances for we Nigerians? I don't know. I don't understand what that question is. But the truth is that if you want to start your training and we will finish your training, what matters is how to get your money. I want to interpret your question like maybe when you land a job and the job is a foreign job and you want to start getting your income, will you have to set up a foreign account or thereabout? That's not an issue. We would guide you through that. Even at FinREMIT, that's part of what we do. We have our savings module. We have our multi-currency module where you can even save your money in Naira and switch it to a pounds. And we also have a payment receipt modules whereby when you give your sort code, your bank details to a bank in the UK, as soon as we are done with that, you would be able to receive your income in the UK into FinREMIT app, and that would give you comfort. And in conclusion, you can open a domiciliary account in Nigeria and receive pounds, naira, pounds, dollars, euro from anywhere in the world. So all you just need is go to your banker and say you want to open a domiciliary account, and they will ask you which currency. So when you land your job, you just give your sort code, your SWIFT code, and everything to your employer, and you get your money as it is. So I don't know what other things. How do we get the prices for each course? I think like I said, we would be having another session. If you are what you do is send a message to that WhatsApp, then I think they can reply you. I will discuss with Learn with Pride as well if they can avail the prices for their courses, most importantly. But I think they are also having a tech summit in Nigeria. And maybe it's because Akin was rushing to another meeting. So yeah, the tech summit, I think those that will be attending that tech summit, they will be giving them free classes as well. So that free scholarship to get some of these courses in the UK. So I think that will be another opportunity for those in this call. But the most important thing is as soon as we finish discussion with them, what I'm pleading for is to give a significant discount to people on this call, most importantly. So when we make reference to FinREMIT and by the time we refer you to them and we put FinREMIT as the referrer, I'm very confident that they will be giving you a reasonable cost, because most especially for those in Nigeria. For those in the UK, yes, it's not that it's also going to be so expensive for you, so that you won't say you are in the UK while you are in Nigeria while you are in the UK. But the truth is that if you are in the UK here, the learning will be easier. The landing a job for you will be easier, unlike somebody in Nigeria that there will be limitation for when that person can get a job. So, but for you in the UK, if you finish the training now, in fact, even before you finish the training, we can start putting you through how to start applying for some of those jobs. So that's why sometimes the preference for those in Nigeria is because of the situation around them is not that very easy to land a job because of distance. Not all companies allow. Some company uses VPN. I remember when I was doing my user research with DEFRA, and I needed to travel to Nigeria to check my business. So I had to take a leave So it was my leave period. I used to travel to Nigeria, but I have a fellow too, a colleague that we're working together. He is working on user research with a US-based company. So, and they will send you their laptop. So they sent us a laptop. My laptop, if I take it to Nigeria, it will not work because it's using a VPN. But in his own case, with the US company sent him a laptop as well in the UK, but when he takes his own laptop to Nigeria, he was able to work from Nigeria. So what that implies is that he can work from anywhere, but he got the job while he's in the UK. So like Akin said, it differs. The luck you get, another person may not get that same luck. So you may land a job that they can even tell you work with your laptop, which is a plus to you as well. So it's a case-to-case thing. So when we move on, we'll be able to talk more on it. On the Tech Summit, I think he shared the link with me yesterday. I will get the link and I will send it to you, Dr. Sambo. Yeah, I will share it with you. It's going to happen in Lagos, April 6th. I will share that with you. Yeah, this platform is more about sharing information, ensuring people are financially free, people are financially empowered. So as many information that we can share, we would share. We will try as much as possible also to create a WhatsApp group with some of us or some of you that are interested so that information can go freely. But if not a WhatsApp group, we also endeavor to use our team to push out information to you as often as you should get them. So the summit is April 6th, like I said, and it's going to take place in Lagos. So you can put it in your calendar. I will send the link to other things for that. Yes, I think that is all for now. There is no more questions. So all you need to do now, like we said here, is to just tell us what next you want to do. And then, like I said earlier during the presentation, act now. So for those in the UK, I will be looking forward to your chat so that we can start taking actions as to regard which next course are you going to take and how we're going to take it. The truth is that when we take up these courses as a group, it also makes learning easy. Like, oh, you are doing data analysis, someone is also doing data analysis, both of you can learn. And for some of you that already have little experience in some of these things we've said, it will be easier for you to move on. So at this point, because we know we've spent a lot of time in Nigeria, it's almost 9 o'clock now. We can just use the last 2 minutes of this call to drop our opinions. Do you think just how you think about the session? What do you think we should do more just in the next 2 minutes? And also, since the session is over now, we would allow everybody and anybody to unmute to say one or two things to each other by saying hi, welcome, thank you, and the like. So feel free to drop your session and then take action now by sending message to that WhatsApp platform. Ask for the list of courses and their whatever the next thing. And for those that wants to take up the free computer literacy course, just the basic, I think we've done it for one or two people here in the UK here. So, and it worked for us. So you can also feel free to do that. So thank you very much, everyone. We want to appreciate you for joining this session, and we look forward to having you again next week. We will send you the webinar link, the link to the Zoom for next week. And for those that is signing up for business also, we would send you the link to that. Some of you here will also send you the link to the business and grant sourcing session next week. It's going to be interesting to tell you how you can raise money for your business. And there are different types of money. There are loan, there are equity, there are grants. So all of these will teach you what they means, and we will teach you when to go for a loan or when to go for a grant. So these are what you would learn in the next class, and it's also 100% free, except when we are taking it to the next level, when you want to have a one-to-one session, because some people will want to engage us one-to-one so that we can help them go through the application. And as a quick information, Tony Lumelu grant is having the last round now. So anyone that is interested should please go and search for it to start applying. And then maybe by next week, when we have our session on grant sourcing and the likes, we can also talk more on it. So please, like I said earlier, don't be discouraged with your present situation. Whether you are working somewhere, you have anything, feel free to take additional skill to yourself. That skill could help you grow in your present place of work, or if you are not looking for a new job. or it could also be a source of entrepreneurship for you by starting a business around that skill. Thank you, everyone. We'll appreciate you joining this session, and I wish you a splendid night rest. Good night.
I all on mute and say one or two things. Wish every one of us a good night. Let's wish each other a good night. You can all on mute right now.
Amujo Temitope, thanks for your sacrifice. It was insightful, informative, and educative. We look forward to the next one. Thank you.
Bossman, great one. Always guiding back, common man. What you consider of it. There is no how anybody will be short when
Thank you so much, Temitope, for this wonderful presentation. Really appreciate it. I've learned some wonderful things. All right, good evening. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, I want to say thank you, Mr. Temitope. In fact, this is an amazing eye opener for everyone, and I wish we can take it up and benefit from it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.